Hi everybody, welcome back for another edition of the Farm Bureau Minute. We're back in Helena after an Easter break. The legislature came back in on Tuesday afternoon, and we're beginning to see things really wind down here in Helena, but the temperament and the pace of the session has changed significantly in the last couple of weeks. We're seeing a lot of people who are really trying to make a lot of procedural motions and actions to get their priority bills and their agendas out on the floor. And so there's a lot of last minute details that are changing hourly here in Helena over the next few days. So while we aren't seeing a lot of bills being heard in committee, that process is really wrapping up. What we are seeing is things being re-referred to the House Appropriations Committee. You really see them looking at the budget with a fine-tooth comb at this point, and anything that is considered to have any portion of a fiscal impact is often re-referred, and so hearings do pop up just within a few hours. We do have the CSKT Compact hearing. That will be Saturday, April 11th, which is tomorrow. Starts at 10 a.m. and we will be here all day probably. The committee chairman has indicated that he's going to allow pretty much the entire day for the hearing to allow both proponents and opponents ample opportunity to share their views and opinions on Senate Bill 262. In regards to the CSKT Water Compact, yesterday on the House floor, Representative Steve Fitzpatrick made a motion that would have applied bookends to Senate Bill 262. And essentially what that would have done and what his motion entailed would have required the House Judiciary Committee to wait until Legislative Day 82 before taking any executive action on the Water Compact. That motion was objected to by the Speaker of the House and was re-referred to the House Rules Committee this morning. They had a hearing at 9 a.m. and it was a very short hearing. It only lasted about 20 minutes and didn't really resolve very much. There was lots of back and forth, lots of substitutes motions made, and essentially ended when a legislator made a motion to adjourn that was passed on a 9-7 vote. So it really left us without a ruling on whether or not Representative Fitzpatrick's motion was out of order or not. So we don't know how that will play out. It will probably take place again this afternoon on the House floor and more discussion will follow. We have a lot of members who are probably traveling today and early tomorrow morning to Helena. We wanted to say thank you to those of you who are taking the time from either seating or cabbing to make the drive to Helena and participate in tomorrow's hearing. It's very important. We know you see the value of participating and that's why you're driving here. So we wish you all safe travels and we'll see you tomorrow at the hearing. In other news, you heard us report last week that the Department of Livestock funding was restored. We worked pretty diligently in the last week to 2 weeks to restore the general fund money for the lab as well as the DSA testing, and we were happy to report last week that that funding was restored to House Bill 2, and House Bill 2 has passed the Senate this week, so we're very excited to report that. The Board of Livestock, as many of you know, has 3 appointments that they are waiting for the governor to fill. To date, 2 of those appointments have been filled. Many of you are aware that Nina Bacchus is the newest board member to be appointed, and we just received word earlier this week that Brett DeBrucker has been reappointed to his position on the board. So we are just waiting for the 3rd and final appointment from the governor and think that we should have that hopefully in the next couple of weeks. As we're winding down in this session, we are keeping track of bills that we have supported throughout the duration of the legislative session, and many of those are now on the governor's desk, and Governor Bullock has signed many of those. So we wanted to just report on a couple of them that have actually been signed into law and were bills that MSBF has supported. House Bill 194 was a bill by Representative Alan Redfield. You may recall it was a bison bill that will require a forage analysis to determine carrying capacity be done prior to the consideration of any bison restoration projects in Montana. And another good piece of legislation that we supported and that has become law was Senate Bill 58 by Representative Cannell. This bill is one that is requiring the DNRC to deliver public notice anytime that there is a change of application or a permit change for water rights. Previously, the DNRC had the ability and the authority to use their discretion, and if they determined that an applicant would not cause adverse effect for any other existing water user, they didn't necessarily have to provide public notice. We think that in an effort to protect senior water rights holders and allow the due process to take place, there should be public notice so that those water users have the ability to object if they do see an adverse effect. So that was a great bill. It's been signed into law, and there will be many, many more that cross the governor's desk, and we'll keep you posted as to the progress of that. So we thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back to talk to you next week. Thanks.